out of the way there, and that's how I ended up across the driveway back into my yard versus the side yard.
First at 5, Fox 10 News hearing from a man run over by a driver in his own front yard.
Yeah, he says the guy behind the wheel was angry after his ex-girlfriend showed up at the victim's house, scared and asking for a place to stay.
Investigative reporter Brendan Kirby on this story. Brendan, the victim, says he had no warning.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise and Byron. Brian Mathers says that he was at home on Thursday night on Zurich Street when he heard a loud noise. He says he never imagined what would happen when he went to check it out. 38-year-old Joseph Provito is charged with first-degree assault after police say that he hit Brian Mathers with his car.
It was the scariest thing I'd ever experienced in my life. I have never had anyone try to hit me with a car.
Mathers says when he went outside to investigate a loud noise, the driver revved the engine and came straight for him. He says he managed to dive behind a pine tree and a telephone pole. He says the car pulled out of the driveway, went past the house, did a U-turn, and came back at him. Mathers says the car hit him and he rolled over top of it. He says he grabbed for a curtain rod to try to protect himself.
I think that's what kept me from going under the car.
Mathers says the guy driving the car was a complete stranger.
Never met him before in my life, never heard of him.
Mathers says it wasn't until after the assault that he found out a possible motive. He says an ex-girlfriend had shown up, scared and asking for a place to stay. He says she told him she recognized the car. Today, Provito is out on bail.
To my lawyer first.
Who is your lawyer?
No comment.
Okay. I tried to ask him about the incident, but he told me that his lawyer has advised him not to speak. He tells me there's two sides to the story, but that he can't tell his yet. Meanwhile, Mathers says that he suffered a fractured hip, wrist, and hand. Fortunately, he says, doctors think he might be able to avoid surgery.
And that was the best news I'd ever heard. And because when I come into the ER, the first thing I asked is this a Bo Jackson break or a grandma break? And because my foot was completely sideways.
And since Provito is already out on bail, there will be no bond hearing. That means that the next likely legal development in this case will be when it goes to a grand jury. Reporting live, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.